Hello friends. Today my topic of discussion is a structure, which the following topic of after file handling and pointer in C. And but before I'm going to discuss about structure, I want to also discuss some topics which I have left off, and these topics are very important for the tricky questions which are coming frequently in exams, and MCQs are also coming on those tricky questions. Some topics are there, some special keywords are there which are used in C programming languages. Now, in my classes till now, I have discussed several keywords, several tricky questions, and several special keywords, special data types, which have frequently come as a question. Now, today, before I'm going to start with the overall introduction of structure, actually I'm taking two classes of structure. This is one of the class where I'm going to discuss about the basics of structure, some basic programs we will see. We will see how we can manage the size of a structure. We will see how we can access the elements of a structure. Okay, but before I'm going to discuss about the structure, I'm going to start about the discussion of structure. I'm going to tell you about those special topics that we have left off. Okay, because questions are coming from those topics as well, and those topics are generally comes in terms of short notes or MCQs, right? So let's start with the first topic of discussion. That is, let me share the screen first. Okay, so this is my shareable screen. So the topic that I'm going to discuss first, that is the difference between constant and volatile keywords. Okay, or you can say these keywords are actually among 32 keywords in C. All of you know the C programming language consists of 32 keywords, and constant and volatile are the two keywords among 32 keywords in C. So constant keyword, I think I already discussed about constant keyword, right? So from the name, okay, let me recall the concept. So constant keyword, from the name, it suggests that so if we place this keyword in front of any variable in front of the data type, then the data type value, or the whatever initialization value we have given to the data type, or to the variable, that variable value should be constant throughout the lifetime or scope of the program. That is the use of a constant keyword. So once you will initialize a variable value with the help of constant keyword, then in the entire program, in the entire life cycle of the program, we are not able to modify that value, or we are not able to update the value. If we are able to update the value, the compiler will not allow us to update that value. Clear? Now, what is volatile? Volatile is very simple. Whatever variable declaration we have used without using constant keyword, all are volatile by default. So by default, normal variable declarations are equivalent to volatile keywords. Now, in examination, the question has come in this way: that what is the difference between constant and volatile? Or discuss about the difference between constant and volatile. Discuss about the these two topics that came individually. Okay, so let's discuss about the constant keyword. Let me just show you the code. This code I have already given for you. I have already written for you. It's a very simple code where I already told this constant keyword is the smallest form of the constant keyword const we are using in front of the data type of the variable, and I have given the variable name I and initialize the variable value 16. Okay, so and doing an increment operation, that means that increment the variable value by 1. So this is actually a modification operation, but this modification operation is not allowed while we are using the variable I as a constant variable. So we will check whether the system will allow this or not. Allow this statement to do the modification of the I variable value, which is a constant in define. So we will check it out. So just run this code. Obviously, it will give an error. So error assignment of read-only variable I. So I is actually read-only variable. We cannot modify it or we cannot write it. That's why it is called read-only variable. Only you can view it, we only can access it as the value it has been initialized throughout the program. Clear? Now, this is one of the case of use of constant. Now I want to make it comment. Now, another way of defining a variable as a constant. This I also shown you. It is the way of macro definition, has defined. I already showed you in the class. Okay, has defined is actually macro definition. What is macro definition? Compiler will not will not take any responsibility for this macro definition before the compilation of the program. This is called preprocessor. Okay, macro definition of preprocessor. Preprocessor means before the processing of the program, or before the compilation of the program, this preprocessor will execute. Okay, so this preprocessor means the same thing. The global declaration outside the main functions. The global declaration is always a global declaration. All macros or all preprocessor directives. The hash define is actually define the variable value of I with the value 16. So this will also working like a constant in this program. So this code and this code, these two are similar. Okay, either you can use this code to represent the value I as a constant value 16, or you can use this code to represent the value I as a constant value of 16. So the difference between this code and this code is that this code, this variable declaration with a constant value has been accessed by the compiler after starting of the program. After compilation start, the compiler will take the responsibility to make it constant. But here, before the compilation starts, the hash defined pre-processing is actually working. Okay, so the job will be same, but here the program will execute, the code will execute, because I'm not doing any increment operations. So code will be definitely execute. So the value I equal to 16 will be printed as the output. Okay, it has been successfully printed the value of I. Clear? Now let me make this code as a comment line. Now let me show you what is the use of volatile then. So what I told, volatile is such a keyword, a special keyword, which we are using if we are not defining a variable. If we are not defining our variable any constant value, then by default it will working like a volatile. So our normal declaration or definition or initialization of a variable is a volatile definition. Okay, that means volatile means flexible, not constant. It's just opposite of constant. Now you may declare the variable as a volatile type, or you may not. The same thing is different. By default is the volatile. So you may declare, you may use the volatile keyword, or you may not. But volatile keyword present, successfully present within the 32 keywords among 32 keywords in C. Okay, so we can declare the J variable as 1, and in the volatile we are trying to increment the value of the variable. So obviously it will work just opposite of constant, so it will allow you to modify the value of J with increment operations of 1. So the value we will get here 2. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 2. Clear? So this is the use of volatile variable. Now let me make it command line. If I don't use the keyword volatile, how it will work? This is another code where I didn't use the keyword volatile. I have just simply defined the variable as a normal variable, which I have already told by default it is a volatile type. Print a J equal to 1, so it will be incremented by 1. So it will work similar to that previous code. This volatile code value is 2, incremented successfully by 1. So this is the difference between constant and volatile keywords. Please remember, short notes are coming regarding volatile and constant, or the difference may become, or in several places we can use this concept. Okay, actually volatile is not a forceful concept we will use. It is a by default concept, and constant is a forceful concept. Concept based on the requirement or based on the purpose we will have to use, where we can make our variable do not want to change or do not want to modify. We can use the value constant or the microprocessor has defined. Clear? So this is one of the topic that I want to discuss. Another topic is a type def. The second topic that I want to discuss, a small topic, type def. Type def full form is type definition. How to define a type? What is a type? Type means the data type. Okay. So let me give you one example. Suppose I want to renaming a particular value or a particular variable as per the name of my accordance, or of my flexibility, according to my flexibility. Now the thing is that why we require these renaming operations? Because of easy understanding and easy readability, right? As for example, suppose okay, let me show this example. One code I have already shown here. So how we can define a type def? The type def is if one of the keyword among 32 keywords in C. After type def, we will define the data type name which I want to be renamed. What I have said, after the type def keyword, we'll have to present the data type name which I want to be renamed. And after that, we will place the renaming data type. Okay, so I am actually creating a new data type according to my choice of name, and which will works similarly like a data type that we are providing here. So this is type def space old data type name space new data type name. So now in the rest of the program, we can use this rectangle keyword, which will similarly working like an int, means integer, throughout this program. But the scope and lifetime of type def is only accessible only those within those functions where we have declared it. So if the type def I have declared here, I will not be allowed to use the rectangle name instead of int into another function which I have defined outside this function, a sub function. We will not allow, it will not allow. So scope and lifetime of a function define the use of the type def keyword. So we can understand it's very easy. So we can, instead of integer, integer is a name that we don't want to give the name of a rectangle length, breadth, and area. So we directly give the length, breadth, and area with the data type rectangle. So now we have defined the variable length, breadth, and area with the rectangle type definition, which will similarly working like an int. Okay. So instead of int, we can use any data type according to our choice, and we can give any name according to our purpose. Okay. Now the simple thing, read the length and breadth of a rectangle and then perform the area calculations using length into breadth and then print the area value. So we'll check it out. So give the length 5 and give the breadth 6. So area will be 5 into 6, 30. So one more value it will take because one space is there. That's why one more value it will take. The space should not be there. So let's rerun the algorithm again. 5 and 6. 5 is the length of the rectangle, 6 is the breadth of the rectangle. The area is equivalent to 30. Clear? Now I want to make it comment line. I have shown you one more use of type def. This is one more program. Okay, this program is a representation of the structure type. So let me discuss this program after I am defining you the basics of structure, how to define a structure. Clear? So let's go to the next topic that I want to discuss. That is the enum keyword, or you can say enumerations. This is one of the you can say one of the keywords. Enum among 32 keywords in C is a special type, a special type of data type. You can say we can use it. So enum. Let me discuss about the enum. What is the use of enum? So this is an enum. So enumeration is a user-defined data type in C language. It is used to assign names to the integral constants, which makes the program easy to read and maintain. The keyword enum is used to declare an enumeration, right? So enum, how enum syntax can be represented in C language. First, the enum keyword is among the 32 keywords in C. Then enum name as per the user choice, and then the constant 1, constant 2, and so on. So the enum keyword is also used to define the variables of enum type. And there are two ways to define the variable of enum type as follows. The first is the way enum week, and then within second bracket we will give the variable name, or you can say the constant name. By default, the constant name is started with 0. The corresponding value, assigning value of the constant name is started. That's why it's called constant, because the value cannot be changed. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The, a week consists of 6 days, 7 days actually. So it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0 to 6 means 7 days. Okay, but it is a by default case. Now, if I don't want to make it by default, then we can do Sunday is equal to, we can give some value here. So automatically the rest of the value will be the incremented value by plus 1 for the next constant. So if the Sunday is equal to suppose 5, then the next value of Monday is 6, Tuesday 7, Wednesday 8, Thursday 9, Friday 10, and Saturday 11. So this is the way which actually makes our program easy to read and maintain. And enum is not very frequently used and very publicly used data types in C language. Sometimes it is used as per the user of the as per the use of the developer, as per the need of the project. So how we can define a enum keyword? So let's go back to our compiler. I have already written one code for you. This enum declaration which I have already declared. Enum a week. Week is a enum enumeration name which I have given, and enum is a keyword corresponding to enumeration name, and these are the 7 days of the week within the second bracket or second bracket you can say. Now we will print the value of the Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. So what I have told, the enum keyword by default give a constant value always starting from 0 in this declaration, right? So the value of Sunday will be 0, value of Wednesday will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and value of Saturday will be 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0, 3, 6. This 3 will be the output. Let me check it out. So the output of Sunday is equal to 0, Wednesday 3, and Saturday 6. Clear? Now let me define this enum value as per the choice of the programmer. That means choice of me, right? So I have defined the same enum declaration, but instead of taking a by default range of values, I have initialized the value of the first enum constant is by 10. Okay. So the next value what I have told is it's automatically incremented by 1 up to the last value. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So output will be Sundays 10, Wednesdays 11 to 13, and Saturdays 16. So 10, 13, 16. Let it check it out. So 10, 13, 16 is a successful execution of the enum type. So these are the keywords which have actually come as a short note in examination. So you have to familiar with the use of all these keywords or all these special data types. Okay. Now let's start with a discussion of structure. Very important and the major topic of today's discussion. What is a structure and how we are going to use the structure. So let me tell you the overall concept of structure. The structure is nothing but a user-defined data type variable in C language, okay, which combines data items of dissimilar type. What is structure? Structure is a user-defined data, just like array, similar to array. Structure is a user-defined data type. But if you remember, in the definition of array, I have frequently told that array is a collection of contiguous elements and is a collection of similar kinds of elements. That means homogeneous kind of element. That means even if it is an integer array, then it will hold the elements of all the same type, similar type. That means that all elements inside the integer array will be an integer type. It cannot be a mixing of other data types like int, float, char within the same integer array. It is not possible in an array. But in some situations where the programmer requires this concept, you will learn in data structure, these applications, lots of application of structure is there in data structures to create a dynamic node, to create a linked list. We will use a concept of structure. So in that case, we will use a combination of dissimilar kinds of data types. Suppose, as for example, suppose I am going to, here one example you have seen that I am going to declare a book data type. What data type? Book data type. So if I am going to declare I'm using array of book data type, then it is not possible to declare all the features of the book within the array data type. Then I have to take individual array to represent each and every features. So it will actually increase the length of the program, complexity of the program, and the time consumption is also increasing. Okay. So to overcome all these problems, all these challenges in array, we will use a concept of structure where a book can be represented with various features of the book or various attributes of the book with various types. As for example, the title of the book, obviously it is a string type or character array, you can say. Author of the book is also a string type or character array. Subject of the book is also a string type or character array. But book ID is not a string type, it's an integer type. Apart from this, if there is one more attribute, suppose the book price is a float type or double type. So we will have to take each and individual array for each and individual type. So it will actually increase the complexity of the program. So instead of taking array of similar kind of elements, we are taking structure which has the capability to combine data items of dissimilar kinds or heterogeneous kinds. Clear? The structure is used to represent a record. So in most real life data sets are generally collection of attributes, collection of records. So you can understand in real life cases, in most of the cases, we are preferred to use structure instead of arrays. So it has a huge application of structures over array. Okay. Now it has some disadvantage as well that I will discuss about the challenges of structures in later sessions. So the first of all, this difference is very important. Lots of questions are coming. Interviewer will ask this question very frequently. What is the difference between structure and array? Okay. So array is a collection of elements, contiguous elements of the similar type or homogeneous kind of elements. Whereas structure is a collection of elements of heterogeneous type or dissimilar kind. So how to define a structure? That is the first thing. So this is a pictorial representation of defining a structure. To define a structure, we'll have to use a struct keyword, which is one of the keyword among 32 keywords in C, and then followed by a structure name. It is as per the choice of the user. Structure name, or you can say the structure tag, whatever you say, but it is choice as per the user. Okay, according to user choice. Now the character name or 10. So character name 10 means it is a character array. You can say string type. You can also use string here instead of character name. The similar thing. Okay. So character name is a string type. Okay. So char name. So name is actually 10. So it contains maximum 10 bytes of characters. Int id. So id is integer type. Also an integer array it is. So it is also shown you how to use array within a structure. How to define array within a structure. You can also define a simple variable like this, float salary. Okay, so from this structure you can understand it is a structure of an employee type. Okay, whose name is there, whose ID is there, employee ID, and whose salary is there. So in this way you can define a structure. Structure always the member, these are called the structure members or the structure elements, you can say. Okay, and these will be enclosed by a open brace and close brace. And structure definition always ended with a semicolon. Please remember, it's very important. Structure definition always ended with a semicolon. If you don't end the semicolon, it will not act like a structure definition. Clear? Am I clear? Now I'm showing you one example. The book example I'm showing you how to define the structure of a book. Struct books, character title. I have already told it's a character array, or you can also take as a string. Is your choice. Character author, character subject, and int book ID. Now your question, sir, what is this book? That is a very important. What is this book name represents? This book, you can say the variable of this structure, or you can say the member of this structure. These are the structure elements. Okay, and this is a member of this structure. Let me clarify. All the books have these common features. This structure is common for every book. So suppose if I'm using a C programming book, suppose Bala Guruswamy book, so that Bala Guruswamy books has also common features. It has also title name, author name, subject name, and book ID. Suppose instead of Bala Guruswamy book, suppose I'm using a book of material engineering. So is that material engineering book has also same number of features? Or we are using a book of suppose database management system, it has also same number of features. So structure is looking like it's compared to like suppose there is I think all of you have already seen the plays, various plays is there. In play, one character will play the characters of various in the plays. Okay, in the general plays. Okay, so one human being or one human character plays the character of several others being. So how he can play? How somehow he will act like a in cinema. One person acts like a character of a son. One person acts like a character of his father, mother, and all these things. So how it will possible? Because the makeup and get up or the costumes actually make it possible, helps the person to acting to play the character of that particular thing. So here all the books, different kinds of books, are generally playing the characters of the similar types. Okay, so structure is just working like that costume or makeup, which will actually superimpose on the various kinds of books. So here only one book example is given. So you can also give a multiple book example. Suppose book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4. So what I have said, suppose the book of, suppose instead of book you were directly using the subject name DBMS, comma C programming, comma material science, comma mechanics, and so on. So if you declare multiple structure variables, then multiple structure members, then you can use a comma separation. So there are two ways we can define a structure members. This is one of the way. Another way I will show you. So to access any member of a structure, okay, let me do it. Here is the way you would declare the book structure. Okay, now accessing structure members. Who are structure member? This is the structure member. Only one member it has been declared here. So you can declare more than one member. So to access a structure member from a structure, we have to use a dot operator, period operator, dot operator. The member access operator is coded as a period between the structure variable name and the structure member that we wish to access. That we will see. Let's check out this program. I will show you the program in my compiler as well. So this is a structure book. Okay. Now, if you look that I am not, it is not declared the member of the structure books in this way. So there is another declaration of structure book. So look very carefully. It has been declared two book type, book 1 and book 2. Suppose this is a book for DBMS, suppose this is a book for C programming, book 1 and book 2. Two variables name as per the user choice they are taken. So you can choose according to your choice any variable name. So these two books are the structured type of books. So we actually making the costumes, or we actually forcefully give the costume or the makeup of struct book type, which will follow all these characters or all these elements for the book 1, and we will do the same process for the book 2 as well. So now book 1 and book 2 holds the structured type of these books. Clear? So it's a very simple approach. Okay, but the approach is very interesting. Okay, how we can superimpose these characters, these makeup, these structure elements to define variables. So suppose I need to declare only two books, so that's why I've used the structure books for this two book, book 1 and book 2. Now how can I access member variables of this book 1 and book 2? Member variables means the member elements. These are the attributes of the books. So this book 1 has different title name, different author name, different subject name, different book ID, and this book 2 also has different title name, different author name, different subject name, different book ID. So how we can going to access it? So book 1 specification string copy. So you can say it's a character type, so we can easily make a using a copy function. All of you have already used the string copy function. It is one of the function of defined in the string.h header file. In the string copy function, whatever has been written within the double quote at the right hand side of the comma, that will be pasted into the left hand side. So left hand side book 1 dot title. This is a variable name of the book 1 type. Please remember. So this dot is a period operator, dot operator of the title structure element, and book 1 is a book 1 type. So C programming is now copy and paste into the book 1 dot title variable. So always you are going to access the structure member elements by the help of the member variable of the structure with dot operator. This is the only, actually you have to remember, this is the only access way of a structure member element. You cannot access like directly title, author, subject. Why? Because this structure has no physical existency. Until you will superimpose this structure on any particular type of book, this structure will working like a virtual type or logical type. It doesn't have any physical existency. Okay, so that's why book 1 dot author, book 1 dot subject. Okay, in the same way, now this book 1 dot book ID equal to, we can directly define the compile time declaration of the book ID, or you can also take a scanf function and you can read that ampersand percent d, okay, comma ampersand book 1 dot book ID is also applicable. So instead of giving the compile time value into the book ID, you can give the runtime value here. Okay, in the same way, we can define that values for the book 2 type, structure type, and then we will just simply print the values by using printf function. Book 1 dot title, book 1 dot author, book 1 dot subject, book 1 dot book ID. In the same way, we will print all the values for book 2. Clear? So this is the output of the structure type. Now let's do one program here. So this is a structure type student. Okay. In the student, I have used another structure type. In the student name, we have used character name of the student, which is a character type. Roll number is an integer type. Float, marks is a float type. 3 defined data types. So only structure can combine them. Now S is the only one student member. I have taken for sake of simplicity, I have taken only one member, that is the S. Okay, suppose I have considered that in my whole class there is only one student. Okay, so in the previous example there are only two books. So we can define the structure members in this way. Okay, there is one type of declaration, or we can also define the structure member in this way. Both are valid. So as per your choice, you can take any one of these way. Now enter the informations. Now I am going to read the values of book s.name, s.role, and s.marks. Very simple. I have already to by the dot operator. This member variable can access each and every member elements or structure elements of this structure type student, right? So we can do it by using fgets. Okay, fgets function for reading a value. Okay, from standard in. Okay, if for file the standard input means the standard input stream, I am taking a reading value of fgets. Okay. Now we are taking roll number by using scanf, taking marks by using scanf. So I've already told you can directly give the value at compile time, or you can do by the runtime by using scanf function, then print all these values. So run this code. So it will demand the name of a student.